Welcome to the Thought Leadership Series featuring interviews with some of the best minds in the industry. Today's special guest is popular platform speaker and best-selling author, Don Spini. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial economist and talk show host. In this segment, we're talking about one of the sales power tools, the ARCH, an acronym strategy for Don's book, 60 Seconds to Yes. Don, when we're talking about this is another one of your power tools, this ARCH, right?
Correct.
What is this, ARCH?
Well, it's an acronym, and understand where we are in this process. See, what we've been taught is to do all we can to avoid the buyer going into conflict resolution, avoid objections. No, we show people how to embrace. I say something in the workshop in the very beginning that freaks people out. I say, listen, our mission, our goal is to get the buyer into conflict resolution as quick as possible, and the place goes silent. We've been avoiding that. Yeah, you've been avoiding it because you don't know what to do there. So we want to embrace conflict resolution. We want to embrace what we call objections when there are no objections. But here's what's going on. I've asked you for a decision, and you said, I got to go and think about it, or I don't have the time. You've moved into conflict resolution, which is where I want you because you're closer to yes than I've ever been. But here's what's going on and why I created ARCH. Buyers sometimes lie to us. See, here's what I know. They have the time and they have the money and they have the need for this product, or we wouldn't be in conflict resolution. Conflict resolution doesn't exist to say no. It exists to finish the process. But you're going to say, I don't have the time or money because you're scared, and the enemy, fear of change, is looming over us right now. We have to learn how to battle fear of change. Now, they're not lying because out of ill will or malice. The enemy is making them lie because they're scared. We've pushed them into conflict resolution. How? We've asked for decision. What ARCH does is it gets them to admit they're lying, but here's the key, without them thinking they've been caught in a lie. That's the trick of this acronym. It stands for acknowledge, restate, clarify, and the H is the big one. It's the hypothetical solution. We're not going to have time to go through it here in this short series. You'll be directed to understand how to do this, but here's the key. We have to get people to tell the truth. We have to defeat the enemy, and how do we do that? By getting them to admit that that it's just fear of change. They won't use the words "I'm afraid to change," but they'll give us all the clues that they're ready. But we can start defeating and shrinking that enemy and move to the next process to help them navigate out of conflict resolution. You don't want them making the decision in conflict resolution.
Well, now I want to go to your second one. The first one I think is pretty straight up. I'm acknowledging the objection. I'm doing that, but I'm restating the objection, but I'm not agreeing with it.
Correct. One thing you never want to do when somebody's in conflict resolution is agree with them. When they say, I don't have the time or money, you don't want to say, oh, I get that you don't have the time or money. You never, ever agree with the buyer in conflict resolution. You don't ever agree with an objection here that you know, listen carefully what I'm about to say, is not true. If they didn't have the time or money, and again, if you go through the whole program, you'll really understand this. If time and money were truly a concern, which it's not, that would have come up in the presentation. It's not. Where are they? In conflict resolution. The brain said, we have the time, we have the money, let's move it to the gut, let's move it to conflict. The purpose of conflict resolution is to work it out. We need to help them work it out, not solve problems that don't exist, that aren't real in conflict resolution.
When you get past that, and of course this is very hard because I see so many people, the whole tenet of sales process from day one since I've been in this business is to agree with the client.
Yes.
All the way down the line.
Yes.
And you're saying, no, you don't want to agree with that. But clarify now, you said let the lie grow. When I first read this, I was like, what? Like you're going to let the client basically hang themselves? I mean,
that's here's the thought process. I want them to think that I'm agreeing with them. When I restate an objection, if you say I don't have the time, I say, I hear it's important that you invest your time wisely. Now, I didn't agree with Steve. I didn't say I get that you don't have the time. I said it's important that you invest your time wisely. See, I can't fix I don't have the time, but I can fix investing your time wisely. But I want Steve to think in this situation that I am agreeing with you. Why? I need your defenses lower. Now I'm going to leave you guys hanging on this because I won't be able to answer this and fix this here for you now. But I need your defenses down. So when I deliver the hypothetical solution, I need to catch you off guard and trip you up. Now people go again, this sounds terrible. What are you doing to this poor person? I'm helping them through a process. I'm helping them through and out of conflict resolution. To do so, I got to get to the truth, and believe me, they will reveal the truth. But I have to have a methodology to speak to the subconscious mind to help them through it. That's what ARCH does.
Now, some of this sounds, we're financial advisors, we're very analytic people, but it sounds like some of this is pastoral. You're really helping the client confront some lies in their own thinking.
That's why people, Steve, are so attracted to this program. because it doesn't sound like financial services. And when we don't come across then as financial advisors, we come across as someone that they trust, someone that they like, and someone that they're willing to do business with. And people like it because they don't feel like they're a salesperson in this process. So that's why this is so attractive to this industry, is exactly that. It is, you could say it's pastoral, it's consultative, but not in the cliched, oh, well, yes, I'm a consultant. No, it's you know, we talk about things that are way off the charts of what we've been taught in financial services.
One last thing, your hypothetical solution or solve. It doesn't, we're really saying it doesn't have to be real. It could be a metaphor, it could be a, you know, some kind of analogy or some illustration, but you have some of these all ready to go. And I know you teach us you really unpack this in the seminar.
Absolutely.
So there'll be some of those things that you'll be able to have ready to go as kind of your arrows in your quiver, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Well, one last thing. Don't chase the ghost. I
Yes.
love that. Just give me that before we leave the segment, because I think that I think we are always chasing phantoms that don't exist.
Absolutely, and especially and when I say this here now, and again, I expect people to resist what I'm about to say. When they're in conflict resolution, I physically see them move to conflict resolution, and they say they don't have the time or money. I know that's not true, and you've got to know that's true, and you cannot ever try to handle an objection or a problem that isn't real. That's what I call chasing the ghost. Fear of change, the enemy of this process, it wants you to jump into conflict resolution and try to fix a problem that's not real, because you'll never get there. If you try to solve money when it's not a problem, they will keep expanding the money problem bigger and bigger. The balloon will get bigger, and it'll be insurmountable. You've got to get them off the fact that it's not money and it's not time. It is fear of change, and you've got to get them to admit it.
Well, for more information on the arch and how it can impact your practice, just click on the landing page address in the video description. We'll be right back with more from Don Spina.
This is your website. Few people visit, and if it isn't attracting new visitors, it's not doing its job. Now you can drive more visitors to your website through dynamic content and email marketing with CreativeOne's Social Media Elite. Capture quality leads faster and easier. Engage your visitors with informative articles and videos to boost your online credibility. Plus, stay connected with existing clients and earn more referrals. All content is customized for you. It's time to introduce your website to the world. Call your CreativeOne sales team at 800-992-2642 or visit us online at creativeone.com.
In this segment, we're talking about one of the sales power tools called the Radar, an acronym strategy from Don's book, 60 Seconds to Yes. Now, when I first saw this, and I love the acronym, you know, you kind of, and we're going to ask you to walk us through this in 6 minutes, right? We got, but I like this because this really helped me kind of pull everything you've been talking about together. And if you missed any of the segments on this, I just highly recommend that you go out to our archives and watch all the shows in succession. I think it'll really help your tutorial experience. So let's talk about this. I thought I was done with validation, and your first thing out of the block on Radar, this approach, this strategy is, I need to resubmit my validation.
Yes.
Talk
Absolutely.
to me about that.
And what I like about Radar, and if I say so myself, it's very clever, because it's an acronym for 5 ways to navigate somebody out of conflict resolution. Understand this, when the buyer moves to conflict resolution, we don't want them making the decision there, but we allow conflict resolution to exist. It's natural. So Radar gives me tools I need to get Steve, if he's in conflict resolution, out of conflict resolution. Because you don't want people making decisions in conflict resolution. That's where you make a decision to throw plates, use bad words, and to sue people. So we want them out of conflict resolution. The decision is not made in there. The decision is made in an area between the presentation and conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is a parking spot. That's all it is. And nothing to be afraid of. But I got to get you out of it. So Radar is that acronym for 5 methods. And we're not going to be able to drill down deep into all 5 methods. But understand this. What I want Steve to do is I want Steve to go back, if he's in conflict resolution. He may need more information, does not yet know what to ask, but I'm going to find that out. And so Radar, the acronym is resubmit your validation is the first R. Admission is the A. Denial. Ask to clarify. And the last R is re-gift the objection. Now, it's not going to make sense to you here. Understand this. I don't have to think about what to do with Steve when he's in conflict resolution. He's going to give me all the information I need to know which one of those tools to apply. They're super powerful, they're super simple, but what's going to happen is Radar is a navigation tool. I'm going to navigate him by my responses out of conflict resolution. I'm never going to engage the buyer when they're in conflict resolution. I'm going to navigate him back to presentation mode where his brain is calm He's not in turmoil, and I'm going to give him the opportunity to say yes to the decision again.
Okay, so in these are 5 different responses. One could be resubmitting your validation. This other one is admission and silence. I love your example. Well, the client says, "Oh, but the carrier's B++," and you say yes, but you don't go any farther.
Yeah, what I say in the program too is, when they say when something's true, you must admit it. Don't try to justify. You never have to justify the truth. And by the way, remember, they're in conflict resolution. They know it's true. You know it's true. Don't try to oversell and overdevelop. If they say it's a B++ carrier, say that's right, and you look at them, you go silent. We use silence as a powerful tool because when I go silent, silence does something. In the program, we go deep into this, and listen to carefully what I'm about to say. Silence is powerful. Silence forces action back on the buyer because the first one to talk loses. And when I say you're right, they're going to respond to that. If I rob them of that opportunity, I rob them the chance to go back to validation. Let me just give you the scenario. Yeah, but it's a B++ rated company. That's right. Well, is that okay? They went back to they asked more information. They navigated themselves. Now, when they ask me a question, they're back to the presentation mode. They want more information, did not yet know what to ask. If I try to fix something that's not real, or if I try to justify the truth, I'm losing.
In your third one on denial, you use the denial tactic with this silence tactical response as well.
Absolutely.
So just walk me through that, because this is twice now you brought this up. And I think the propensity for most producers is, I need to fill the void here. I need to fill the silence.
Don't. In fact, silence is so powerful, you never want to fill the void. The denial tool. If somebody says, well, yeah, all financial advisors are liars. Now, remember, they're in conflict resolution. That's how they talk. The enemy, by the way, understand this, they're not even talking to us when they're in conflict resolution. The enemy is talking to them. Fear changes, they're having their own conversation. You're just in the room. Here's the deal, when they say something like that, they're closer to yes than they've ever been before, because fear of change is losing and it's throwing out the dirty tricks. They know you're not a liar. You know you're not a liar. You never try to fix something that is not true. You say, that's not true, and you go silent and you look at them. And oftentimes they feel bad and they go, I've had a bad day, you're right, let's just do this. Never ever justify something that's not true.
I like that, because I really, if I'm talking the truth and I'm really out there for the client's good, there should be no fear on my side of this equation.
That's right.
Ask to clarify. Now, this is the one I like. I love this. I don't like to guess. I like to kind of know where I'm going.
That's right.
I've seen many producers in critical parts in the process, sales process, when they're asked to clarify, they don't have really the actual, skill sets and knowledge, and they start guessing and making it up.
That's right. When people are in conflict resolution, they'll say things that don't make sense. It's okay. See, what I say, I never engage the buyer in conflict resolution. This tool is designed where I don't engage them in conflict resolution. I don't jump in with them. But when they say something that doesn't make sense, I do not ever want to guess. It's okay to say, what do you mean by that? Because one, it buys me time. If they said something that doesn't make sense, I want them to clarify, because sometimes they're just off course. So you have them clarify, because there may be a super simple solution. But when they say something in conflict resolution that sounds like an objection, it's okay to have them drill down a little further.
I love this last one, re-gift the objection. I thought it was going to say restate the objection. Gift, it's like, did I package it? I have to repackage it.
Give it back to them. This is so simple. And where I invented this, and I didn't even know this was going to work, because at one time I was just involved and not even follow my own process. I was frustrated because I knew the person at the time and the money, and they just kept saying, I just don't have the money to do this right now. And I said to them, and this just sort of came to me, but it ended up being a very well-developed tool. I said, the fact that you don't have the money is why you need to do this now. And I went silent. And it was sort of out of frustration, but they looked at me and they said, Don, you're right. And I'm like, yes, I know I'm right. I was shocked that it worked. I had to go study why. Well, the reason it works is because it's true. What they picked off the menu is why they're going to say no down in conflict resolution. It works that way every single time. Sometimes you just have to get them to go, I know you don't have the time, that's why you need to do this. And just go silent and let them tell you where they're in the process. We're not going to get them all there. This will help.
Well, for more information on the Radar Power Tool and how it can build out your business, just click on the landing page address in the video description. And don't forget, you can follow us on our social media accounts, and don't forget to visit our website. I'm Steve Savant. We'll see you next time on Thought Leadership Series. And remember, keep thinking outside the box.